The man was peeing when he noticed something very strange. He saw a rock not far away that seemed to be reflecting. Curious, he walked over to it. After cleaning off the dust on the surface, he instantly realized that it could be a piece of gold. He looked back at his companion. After hesitating for a long time, he called his companion over. He told his companion that there was something good here. His friend came over and stared at the stone again and again. He took out his lighter and started to burn it. After a while, the stone showed signs of melting, but it didn't change color. They guessed it was pure gold. The surprise came out of nowhere. They were so happy they didn't know what to do. They took out shovels and started digging, but they couldn't get the gold out. The two strong men moved it together, but it wouldn't budge. Then they put a rope around the gold. They used the pickup truck to pull it and stepped on the gas. The rope broke twice, but the big gold nugget didn't move. They decided to dig deeper. They dug half a meter deeper. They realized it wasn't a gold nugget. It was a mountain of gold with no visible bottom. But all they could do was watch. As the sky grew dark, they gathered some firewood and made a bonfire. Thinking that they were guarding a mountain of gold, they screamed with excitement. But how could they get the gold out? A friend suggested that one of them would have to go to town and get a digger to help. The other would stay behind to guard the gold. But with such a large fortune, trust is the biggest issue at this point. Mike said he wouldn't leave the gold. After all, he found the gold himself, and he was going to keep the gold. His friends had to give in. Mike stayed behind to guard the gold. The next morning they shared water and food, and the friend made up an excuse that the car's engine needed water to cool down. So they took most of the water, only gave Mike a satellite phone. He said he'd keep in touch in the meantime. After his companion left, the man put on his hat. He reburied the gold with sand. Then he set up a simple tent with branches. He took out his satellite phone and tried it. Luckily, he could get a signal here. At night, Mike lit a fire. He took a cautious bite of the canned food, because he'd have to rely on a couple of cans for a couple of days. The next day the men went out to check. He saw something glowing not far away. He covered the mirror with a rock. He walked in and saw that it was the wreckage of an airplane. It's an airplane that doesn't block the sun. The only bad thing is that you can't see the gold from here. It made the man feel uneasy, so he dismantled the parts of the plane and dragged it back to the gold. The desert sun is very hot. As the man went about his business, his skin was badly sunburned. He used the parts to build a tent around a dead tree. He could see the gold through the window. This gave him a sense of security. The man slept peacefully. The sun was shining on his forehead through the cracks. When he woke up, a layer of blisters had formed on his forehead. His body was seriously dehydrated, but he couldn't care less. After a short rest, he went to sit next to the gold. Looking at the gold in front of him, he finally couldn't help himself. He struck a large piece of gold with a stone, enough to feed and clothe him for the rest of his life. When he was about to leave, the satellite phone suddenly rang. It was his companion. He said he had a little trouble on the way. It might take a few more days for him to get here. The man said he had already knocked down a large piece of gold. He wants to get out of here, but his companion told him to stay on. All the gold there belonged to them. The man had to follow his companion's advice. The next day, he came to the wreckage of the airplane. He wanted to take some of the collaterals back. Suddenly she noticed a woman walking not far away.